Welcome back to the workshop. Today we're going to put a wooden accent wall in my living room. Let's get started. The first step is to mill down the lumber. I bought 10 2x6x8s and ripped all of the rounded edges off with the table saw. Then I resawed each board into 3 parts. Then I planed each board so they were all equal thicknesses. This was going to take a while by myself, so I convinced my wife to come out and help. Somehow I lost the footage, but I ripped a rabbit on opposite sides of each plank to create a shiplap effect, and then stained the boards a dark brown. Once the stain dried, I put 2 coats of water-based poly on, sanding with 220 grit in between each coat. Once the poly completely coated the board, I did a stroke along the entire board to make sure that the coat was as even as possible. In most of the accent wall videos on YouTube, they're just sticking the wood straight onto the drywall. This is fine for a wall without windows or doors, but the thickness of the wood is going to mess up the thickness of the door and window jambs. That means it's time to remove that drywall. I started by taking off the window and door trim. In my next video, I'm going to make new trim for the doors and windows, so I didn't worry about keeping it all in one piece. I'm also adding wainscoting to the entire living room, so I measured 36 inches up, drew a line with a level, and scored the drywall with a utility knife so I wouldn't remove anything below that line. Now for the fun part. I smashed the drywall with a hammer to get it to loosen from the screws and then removed it in chunks. Anytime I came to something attached to the drywall, I scored it with a knife to release it from the wall. Also, make sure you get the ceiling and wall joints to cut the drywall tape, or you're going to remove paint from the other wall. I learned that the hard way, but fortunately I'm repainting the rest of the living room, so it wasn't a big deal. My wood planks are a little thinner than the drywall, so I used the offcuts from ripping the panels to match the thickness. I nailed them to all the studs, and then it's time to start putting on the planks. I measured the length where it was important to get it right, but on the longer runs, I just cut a random length so the walls would have a random pattern to it. For the speakers and anything else coming out of the wall, I held it on the wall where I wanted it, marked where the board needed to be cut, and then cut it out with a jigsaw or handsaw. Added the planks around it, and we're good to go. This board was a little crooked, so I had to pull it off. As I was pulling out the brad nails, this happened. My only regret is the sound wasn't on the camera when it happened. Alright, back to it. My ceiling isn't completely straight, so I scored a line on the board and then cut it out with the bandsaw. It was a little too wide, so I did a few passes with the hand plane and then it fit perfect. A quick cleanup and we're done. Alright, that's what we're going to call it for this video. You may have noticed in the thumbnail that the trim and wainscoting is already done. Well, there was just too much content for those videos, so I'm going to split them up into 3 parts. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and notification bell down below so you don't miss them. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.